Hey, what is up, everybody? It is V-Dub here, and I want to welcome you to my 2018 college football playoff projection video. If there is a projection video out, that means we have the college football playoff rankings in real life are out, as the latest standings are now officially out, and these videos come out every Wednesday afternoon at noon Eastern, so keep an eye on that. In order to do that, please hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do come out. So without further ado, we are going to go through how this whole process works. So here's how it's going to work out. If you're playing in the conference championship game in real life, that means you're going to be guaranteed a spot whether you win the conference championship game or be the runner-up. Now, as far as group of 5 teams go, the top 3 third place finishers in the group of 5 will get a spot into the college football playoff in this 2018 field, as well as 7 at-large teams. 4 brackets will consist of 7 teams each, just like the NFL playoffs. And just like the NFL playoffs, the top seeds in each bracket will have the first round bye and will reseed, meaning that the highest seed will play the lowest seed remaining. The first and second round games will be played at the site of the higher seed, and in the quarterfinals and the semifinals will be played at the designated New Year's Six bowl games, which will be determined by the close proximity of each number 1 seed. And then, of course, the number 1 overall seed will have the shorter travel to both their quarter and semifinal bowl games. The national championship game will be played, of course, where the actual national championship game will be played. And all games on this channel will be CPU versus CPU via College Football 26. And we will have more information about how that will work out on the actual selection show, which we will reveal coming up shortly. And here is how I'm going to use the criteria for how the seedings and selections are made. First of all, we're going to use the college football playoff rankings because those are the most important rankings coming up in the real game right now. But then I also will use the AP poll, because it is possible that you could be ranked in the AP poll and still not be ranked in the college football playoff rankings, especially if you are a group of 5 team. And then we'll go through the votes received in the AP poll, followed by the ESPN Football Power Index rankings to determine how you'll be seated and slotted. And here are the projection episodes here for November 5th, 12th, 19th, 26th, and December 3rd at noon Eastern, followed by the official selection show will be on Sunday, December 7th, 2025. I want to try to say this will probably be out around 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern time. And now with that, without further ado, it is time to see the projected 28 teams that are in my 2018 field, how it would look like if it was December 7th. And we start off with the Sugar Bowl bracket, where the Ohio State Buckeyes, the number 1 team in the college football playoff, they would be in the Big Ten championship game if it was this weekend. However, they got a tough game against the Michigan Wolverines. The Wolverines actually could get into the Big Ten championship game still in real life, as well as an outside shot at the 12-team college football playoff, as well as being in my 2018 playoff if they could beat the Buckeyes for a 5th straight year. However, the Buckeyes will be the number 1 seed in the Sugar Bowl bracket. The number 2 seed would be the Oklahoma Sooners from the SEC. As an at-large team, they are number 8 in the college football playoff, and they would host the number 7 seed, the Western Michigan Broncos, who are in automatically as they won last night at Eastern Michigan to clinch your spot in the MAC championship game. As I said, if you're in the conference championship game in real life, you are in the playoff automatically, win or lose. The number 3 seed, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, they would host the number 6 seed, the Ohio Bobcats. The other team out of the Mid-American Conference, they could punch their ticket in by the end of this weekend as well with a win. And rounding out the Sugar Bowl bracket, the number 4 seed, the Tulane Green Wave, number 24 in the college football playoff, and they would be the 12th seed in the 12-team playoff if they win the American. And they would host the number 5 seed, even though you probably can't see it on here. It is the James Madison Dukes from the Sun Belt. They are in my playoff regardless. However, they're going to need to win and have help to get into the 12-team playoff. And now we head to the Cotton Bowl bracket here, where the number 1 seed will be the Indiana Hoosiers, who are second overall. We're the second overall seed, number 2 in the college football playoff rankings. And they would bump Texas A&M because they have the higher ranking in the college football playoff, and they are closer to the Cotton Bowl than they would be to the Orange Bowl. So they are the number 1 seed, and they would clinch a spot in my playoff, as well as a Big Ten championship game in real life, if they beat Purdue on Friday. The number 2 seed in the Cotton Bowl bracket would be the Ole Miss Rebels, and they would host the number 7 seed Southern Miss Eagles. And Southern Miss, they have a big game against Troy. That is basically a play-in game, because Troy, even though they're not on this bracket, if they were to beat Southern Miss, they would go to the Sun Belt Championship game to face the James Madison Dukes. And Troy would get the auto bid as playing in the conference championship game. Remember, if you're in the conference championship game in real life, you're in my 2018 playoff, regardless if you win or lose. Now, the bottom part of the bracket, the number 3 seed, the Alabama Crimson Tide, would host the number 6 seed, the New Mexico Lobos, who would be one of the top 3 group of 5 third-place teams. Then you have a new team in the bracket, the 4th seed, the Pitt Panthers, who would be currently playing in the ACC championship game. They are number 2 in the ACC right now. Number 22 in the college football playoff rankings as well. They have a huge game. If they beat Miami, they punched their ticket to the ACC championship game and punched their ticket into my 2018 college football playoff. But they would have to win the ACC to get into the 12-team playoff. And they would host the number 5 seed, the San Diego State Aztecs, who are currently the leaders in the Mountain West Conference. They win their game this weekend, and they are in the Mountain West Championship game and would have an auto bid into my 28-team playoff. And now we are in the Orange Bowl bracket, even though you probably cannot see it on your screen. But I have mentioned this earlier. The number 1 seed would be the Texas A&M Aggies. The Aggies, undefeated in the season right now. A win will get them in the SEC championship game. Again, as I said, a win on Friday would get them in the SEC championship game. They are the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed would be the Oregon Ducks, and they would host the number 7 seed, the Kennesaw State Owls, who, if they win, they'll be in the Conference USA championship game. And what a turnaround from a season ago in their second season in FBS, a chance to play for the conference title if they win on Saturday this weekend. The number 3 seed would be the BYU Cougars, who are currently sitting as one of the top teams in the Big 12, would be in the conference championship game if it was this weekend. Them and a Texas Tech would set up a rematch from a few weeks ago when Texas Tech took care of business in a big way in Lubbock. We'll see how that would turn. It would be a fun rematch in Arlington. I think it would be a closer match. They would host the number 6 seed, the Boise State Broncos, who would be currently sitting in the Mountain West Conference championship game right now in a second place tie, but they would own the tiebreaker to be in the conference championship game. The 4th seed would be the Virginia Cavaliers, and they could punch their ticket with a win against Virginia Tech on Saturday. They are sitting at number 18 in the college football playoff ranking. They would have to win the ACC out. They have to win the ACC championship to get in the actual 12-team playoff, just like Pitt would. And the number 5 seed would be the North Texas Mean Green. They would be in the American Conference Championship game right now. They are number 21 in the AP poll. They would have to win the American to get into the playoff, in the 12-team playoff. And now we head to the Rose Bowl bracket here, even though you can't see them, but do not worry, you'll see a full bracket coming up. We have the number 1 seed, the Georgia Bulldogs, 4th in the college football playoff. Already completed their SEC slate. This game against Georgia Tech is a non-conference game because Georgia Tech is in the ACC. Georgia Tech, they're nowhere to be found because they ended up losing to Pitt last week, basically eliminating them from the 12-team playoff as well as my 2018 college football playoff, because the ACC is not that strong of a conference. The number 2 seed would be the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They go on the road at Morgantown. Doesn't matter how good or bad West Virginia is. It's never easy to play over in Morgantown, West Virginia. However, a win will get them into the Big 12 championship game and a spot in my 2018 college football playoff, as well as increase their chances to play in the 12-team playoff. They would host the number 7 seed Jacksonville State Gamecocks from the Conference USA. Jacksonville State had a chance to punch their ticket last week, but they fell to FIU in an upset loss down in Miami. The number 3 seed would be the Miami Hurricanes. A win against Pitt would, and I think they probably need some help too, would get them into the ACC championship game. It would definitely help them as far as getting an at-large into my college football playoff. I can tell you that right now, this college football playoff that we're talking about here. They would host the 6th seed, the Old Dominion Monarchs, who would be one of the top three Group of 5 third-place finishers. And to round out the Rose Bowl bracket, the 4th seed would be the Utah Utes from the Big 12 Conference, and they would be the last at-large team to get in. And they would host the number 5 seed, the Toledo Rockets, who suddenly are now one of the top 3 Group of 5 third-place finishers. And I think that would actually be a good matchup if that were to happen. And here is the full look at the bracket here. As we know, the Peach Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl would be the 2 semifinal games here, and the way it would pit, it would be the Sugar Bowl bracket would play the winner of the Rose Bowl bracket in the first semifinal in the Peach Bowl, and in the Fiesta Bowl would feature the Cotton Bowl bracket winner against the Orange Bowl bracket winner. So if all 4 number 1 seeds were to be advanced, it would be 1 versus 4 in the Peach Bowl and 2 versus 3 in the Fiesta Bowl. And that is your 2018 college football playoff projection video for November 26, 2025. We only have one more projection video. That'll be next Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025, followed by the selection show December 7th, 2025. And we are getting closer and closer to the end of the regular season for college football. And we will also, earlier that day on December 7th, know who the 12 teams will be for that college football playoff. And this is it. If you enjoyed this content, please leave a like, comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the bell icon, to receive notifications when these videos do drop. And also don't forget that I have NBA 2K content coming out. This will be my end of the month stats, awards, and standings update as we finish the December 2025 portion of my 2025-2026 season playthrough. And later tonight, we will have Michigan and Ohio State for my 3rd college football 26 simulation for week 14, aka Hate Week. Until then, you guys have a good rest of your day. I am Vinny from VDub Productions, and I am signing off.